Yeah, easily one of the greatest games in the history of baseball by one of the greatest players in the history of baseball. And now this year, Shohei Ohtani is returning to the mound. So we don't necessarily expect another 50-50 season, but he is the unicorn, so you never know. Earlier today, Andrew Friedman was asked about the season ahead for the Big Show.
Well, we're going to go through his progression and be able to read and react. It's not something that we're going to set like an arbitrary date and say, okay, now we've got to fit from where we are now to that date. We're just going to let him continue his progression, watch how he's recovering. I'm sure that it will continue to be as good as it's been to this point, and we'll continue to move forward. But what the date's going to kind of fall out of that process as opposed to us having a target date.
Do you plan to let him hit and pitch in the same games this year?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Are you guys going to kind of, I know like his last couple of years with the Angels, like he kind of got to dictate a little bit, or maybe a lot, like what his schedule would be. Like, how are you guys going to manage his workload as he goes back?
I'm sure it's going to be a lot of conversation with him. You know, what he's doing is incredibly unique, and the toll it has, none of us have data points to draw from of, oh, when we were around this guy recovered this way, this guy. It's so unique that we absolutely need his feedback. He's also so dialed in to how he feels and how his body's doing that it will be an active conversation between all of us.
How do you even, like, it's hard to come back from Tommy John. It's hard to come back from a second Tommy John. He's obviously doing something, as you said, no one's ever done. Like, how do you even research to plan for that?
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, it's everything with Shohei. It's uncharted territory. You know, it's as unique as it gets. And, you know, it's why my contention is that he's the most talented player to really ever play this game. Just the ability to do both so well. And so now it gets at, you know, questions that we can't answer until he's in the flow of it. And it will be constant communication, just making sure that we're all synced up and able to kind of read and react based on how things are going.
Shohei Ohtani is expected to throw his first bullpen of the spring, maybe as early as tomorrow. But it's going to be interesting to watch this, Bill, because this is a guy that had his second elbow surgery in 2023. Then he had shoulder surgery after the Dodgers win the World Series. And of all the guys out here throwing bullpens, this one might be the most watched to see how he's throwing the ball. And also everyone's going to want to know, how does he feel?
Yeah, I want to see it. I mean, I don't recall him pitching against the Dodgers when he was with the Angels. So I don't think I've ever seen him.
Oh, yeah, he did. Freddie Freeman took him deep.
Did he? I don't remember that. Okay. I want to see what it looks like. Last year, when he was throwing bullpens for the first time coming back, I talked to Brandon McDaniel, and he said he was struck by the physical presence. He's bigger than you realize when you're up next to him. And when he's on the mound, Brandon called him, he's like a freight train coming down the hill at you. This is all in my book, available for pre-order on Amazon, by the way. I talked to Brandon for that. But I want to see what the freight train looks like. I want to see that.
I think that's something you just touched on. People don't realize how big he is. Yeah. I mean, he is an incredible athlete. In my opinion, the best athlete right now in all sports. And I got a chance to work out with Brandon McDaniel. As soon as Shohei Ohtani signed with the Dodgers, he was right there working out at Dodger Stadium. I worked out there for a couple days, and I told John Hartong, bruh, I can't believe how great of an athlete he is. Obviously, the throwing arm, the power, but his side-to-side, his agility, jumping ability as well. He could be a defensive end or a tight end in the NFL, could be a small forward in the NBA if he wanted to do so. I know his wife is a pretty good basketball player in her own right. I cannot wait to see him on the mound with the Dodgers because he is a unique athlete. But more importantly, he's got to be able to be extremely honest. If things aren't going his way to start, maybe take a couple days or maybe a week, because the most important thing is it's not May, it's not June, is having him healthy for the postseason.
We heard Andrew Friedman talking about it. He doesn't really know what to expect because this is uncharted territory for anybody in the Dodgers organization. But I don't think anyone's expecting, Jerry, a 50-50 season from him again. Certainly not the 59 stolen bases like he had last year. When you add in being a full-time pitcher into what he does on the offensive side, do you think in any way that's going to take away some of his offensive production that we saw last year because he's pitching full-time?
He better not start stealing bases like that again, because, listen, the most important thing is we want to make sure he's strong and fresh. He is dynamic at the plate. Obviously, the home run prowess, obviously the high batting average, so he's not going to be attempting 40, 50 stolen bases again. But here's another thing, too, and I'm not going to put this on Shohei Ohtani because I never want to limit him. How about going after my boy Albert Bell? 50-50 in a different way. 50 home runs, 50 doubles. If he hits 50 doubles, John, it'll be awful hard for him to steal 50 bases because he's already at second base. So 50-50 from the home runs and doubles, but the most important thing is continue being that threat. On the base pass, you're not going to be stealing, but just being that threat helps Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman get better pitches to hit.
How about a 150-150 season? 150 hits as a hitter, 150 strikeouts as a pitcher. He's probably done that. I'd have to look up on the baseball reference page. But that would be a pretty good season for a unicorn like him.
But, you know, here's the crazy. Listen, Babe Ruth has my ultimate respect. This guy was a giant, still is talked about. Babe Ruth didn't do what Shohei Ohtani has been doing. Obviously did with the Angels, but is now going to return to do with the Dodgers. Pitch full-time and hit full-time. Yeah. Babe Ruth pitched, then he became such a great hitter. He goes, you know what, you're going to stop pitching. You're going to be an everyday hitter. Shohei Ohtani is doing both at the same time at an elite level, so he's doing something Babe Ruth hasn't done.
How many home runs would Babe Ruth have hit if he was strictly a hitter his first 2 years or so, or 2 or 3 years with the Red Sox?
798. That's the number,
Probably
John.
800 home runs. All right, we still have more to come here from Camelback Ranch in Glendale, Arizona. Yoshinobu Yamamoto. We know he's going to be the Dodgers opening day starter in Japan in 32 days. Today he was on the backfield throwing live BP. We will hear from Will Smith on Yoshi coming up. Plus, Miguel Rojas gave up his number 11 to Roki, gave up his position at shortstop to Mookie. Jay Hare sits down with Miggy Rowe in the debut of our Spring Connected With series coming up next.
Number 11, Miguel Rojas.
Oh, he drives into the left field corner. This one is deep, and that ball is gone. Sharply hit, and Rojas picks it on a short hop. Oh, the marvelous Miguel Rojas. Sparkling play. Sparkling player no matter where you put him.
Miggy Rowe is just a baseball player. I think he is the perfect guy for this team. He understands his role. And wherever you play him, third base, second base, shortstop, he is absolutely elite.
Every day that I play is an opportunity for me to do something small for the team. If I'm not going to be there every single day, I need to find a way to stay sharp. I feel like I'm going to do whatever that they ask me to.
Miguel Rojas entering his 12th big league season this year. It's also his 3rd season in round 2 as a Los Angeles Dodger. Earlier today, Jay Hare caught up with Miggy Rowe in our first spring conversation of 2025.
We all know that Mookie Betts is going to be back at shortstop. How have you helped him try to make that transition to be that everyday shortstop?
All I'm doing with Mookie is trying to be an asset for him to kind of have me there if he ever needs anything. You know, I think Mookie is in a great headspace right now to enter the year as a shortstop, coming into spring training knowing that he's going to play in the position. What Mookie is as a baseball player, he always going to succeed. Looks like he's going to find a way to get the job done. Obviously, last year he had to move back to right field because that's what the team needed the most. And that's Mookie, you know, someone that is really unselfish, always thinking about the team first. But now is so much better for him because he understands what the task that he's going to have in front of him, and just want to be there for him if he ever needs anything.
You know, it's amazing. You do a tremendous job of leadership. How hard is it for you to be able to balance that, being a leader in the clubhouse, helping your other teammates be productive in their own right at various positions, but you can play third, short, second, and still have that thump in the bat?
Yeah, it's my mentality. My mentality right now, I mean, I know the situation, my role, and the team. but in my head, I'm the best shortstop that you have in that clubhouse. That's what I gotta put myself on. And this is an alter ego, you know, like this is not what Miguel Rojas is in the clubhouse or around his teammates, but I need to have some fire inside of me that I say I wanted to keep going for my job, you know, like that's what I wanna do. I gotta think that I'm the best shortstop that you have. And that's gonna create something, which is the manager will have a confidence that if he's missing something, he's gonna put you in and he's not gonna lose much. That's my mentality. So for me, it's like I'm an everyday shortstop, and I've been in the big leagues for this long because I'm able to play shortstop.
I'm so glad that you said that, Miggy, because you know that. When you have everybody in that clubhouse feeling that they're the best, guess what's gonna happen? You get the result that you had in 2024. Now, this year, 2025, it's going to be hard to repeat. We haven't had a repeat champ in the big league since the Yankees did it 98 to 2000. How hard is it, or how hard will it be for you guys to stay focused on the task at hand and be able to hoist that trophy once again in 2025?
Right after the Fan Fest, everybody on their own made the sacrifice to come all the way here. That's what it takes to try to win another championship. We're not gonna say that it's just gonna be just because we have the best team in paper, we're gonna win. So the work that is being put on by the guys and by the organization in the offseason, we see how many free agents we signed, how much talent we got in that clubhouse that is new, that is fresh, that they wanna win for the first time. At the end of the day, we gotta deliver, and we gotta do our part. That is coming to the ballpark every single day and win some baseball games. But I think we're still hungry, and the mentality is to win another championship.
You had a rookie named Sasaki, hasn't pitched a game in the big leagues. You're the veteran guy. You gave up your number 11 for him, and now you're downing 72, the number you wore your rookie year with the Dodgers. What went in that decision?
For me, it was more than just like giving up a number. It's just like telling him that I will do whatever it needs to do. It needs to be done for a player for us to win baseball games. And that's the bottom line. Is what we're creating. What's the culture that we have in this team? If I'm saying that I will do anything for you, and something like that happened, it's my time to deliver. It wasn't a no-brainer, you know. Like it was for me. It was like I don't care what number I wear. I'd rather have more talent in our team to win another championship. So, I mean, for me, it's not. I'm not attached to anything. I'm not really superficial like that. And I just feel like if Rocky feels comfortable coming in, he's gonna pitch better, and he's gonna be so much better for.
And he gave you a pretty good gift too for the number.
It was, yeah, it was a pretty good gift. Great surprise. He didn't have to do anything, you know. Like I hear a lot of people, why is not a car? Why is not this? I don't need any of that. I got
sake, right?
You know,
best sake out
there. One of the most prestigious sake in Japan. The little glasses are something that I'm gonna keep forever, and I think it's a nice gesture, you know. That's something that I'm gonna keep in my house. I talked to him about a couple bottles that I have and a couple things that I got throughout the time. I still got the bottle that Clayton Kershaw gave us engraved and signed when he threw a no-hitter in 2014. Now in 2025, I have a couple bottles of sake and a couple sake glasses that I'm gonna keep on my place for a long time.
Coming up, Will Smith. He's used to catching Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Today, he stepped into the batter's box to face his battery mate. Smith on what he saw from the Dodgers opening day starter coming up. Plus, the Dodgers dominates MLB Network's list of top 100 players, including 3 guys in the top 8. Probably pretty easy to figure out where the Big Show ranks. Dodgers opening day starter took another step toward his Game 1 assignment in Japan as Yoshinobu Yamamoto took the mound today on the backfields here at Camelback Ranch, facing some of his battery mates in a live BP session. Will Smith, Austin Barnes got to take some hacks against Yoshi, and afterwards Smith shared his thoughts on facing Yoshi as opposed to catching him.
Yeah, he looked really good. I think he struck us all out. So he's in a good spot. Yeah, you can tell he put in some work in the offseason. didn't skip a beat, and I know I think he'll have a pretty good year this year. So, yeah.
Did he just like fastball splitter in the pen, or did he mix in some other stuff?
Yeah, he was throwing some sliders as well. So just working on those 3 pitches. Yeah, they were good.
During the recruiting meeting with him, like kind of what did you two talk about, and kind of what your pitch was to him, or if it was just kind of based on like the catcher-pitcher relationship here?
I was just kind of there. The pitching coaches were there. His team, I guess, was there. We're just kind of talking what we do pitching-wise, and just asking him some questions, trying to get him to open up a little bit, see what he needed out of me as a catcher, and just kind of break the ice and just show him who I am. Show them who we are as the Dodgers, and yeah.
Was the splitter good as advertised?
Yeah, I think it'll be a pretty good pitch.
How important is just these next few weeks, especially building a relationship with him and kind of understanding what his needs are going to be for this season?
It's going to be a work in progress, all year, all next year, just fine-tuning, developing our relationship. So yeah, you want to get off to a good start. And spring training is the perfect place to do that. Catching bullpens, catching him in the games here. Figuring out what works to the hitters, how he's making adjustments. You want to get off a good start, and so, that's where we're at.
What do you expect so he's scheduled to opening season.
What do I expect out of him?
Yeah.
He's going to be good. I expect him to just keep getting better. Obviously, last year was really good, minus a couple starts. Postseason was really good. I see him just continuing that and continue to be really good.
Yeah, Will Smith talking about Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Roki Sasaki, a couple of his battery mates that he's probably going to catch once they get to Japan for the first 2 games of the year. We heard Will Smith talking about Yoshi's live BP session today. Bill, you were out there on the backfields. What did you see of Yoshi today?
Same thing I saw when he threw his bullpen session earlier in the week. Serious and ready. The bullpen session looked like a mid-season bullpen session. He's hitting the ground running. I think he knows that he belongs here now. That's what last year does for a guy. You wonder, can I do it in the big leagues? You come over and you do it. He's now very self-assured. He's confident. And I think he's ready to hit the ground running.
And here's another thing, too. He's had experience in getting ready earlier because he's pitched in the WBC for Japan. Last year, obviously, he pitched in Korea when we started the season early. So he knew he had to come in ready to go. You saw his delivery. It's powerful, short, tight, compact. So he knows once we get into spring training games, he'll be ready to go. But more importantly, we'll be ready to go for that start in Japan. You don't think he's going to be fired up? I think so.
Yeah, what a difference year 2 probably going to be this year for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Roki Sasaki going through all of this for the very first time. All right, so MLB Network, they came out with their top 100 players in Major League Baseball. No surprise here, the Dodgers have 3 in the top 10, including the unanimous NL MVP at number 1. After Aaron Judge, Bobby Witt Jr., and Juan Soto, you see Mookie Betts rounding out the top 5. And at number 8, the 35-year-old Freddie Freeman, the oldest member of the top 10. Last year, Shohei became the first ever DH, full-time DH, to win an MVP, and he did win it unanimously, Bill. That's how good he was last season. Now you throw in the fact that he's going to pitch as well in 2025. Seems like it's a slam dunk choice that he's number 1 overall.
Yeah, when they announced the list and they put on Twitter, MLB Network did, that Shohei was number 1, my reaction was, yeah, that tracks. That sounds right. The rest of it, though, what a great seed for arguments. You can argue about where guys belong on that list all the way up and down and compare one to the other. But the unicorn, I think they found the spot for him.
Yeah, without question, he is number 1. It's been really number 1 for quite some time now. He's electric on the base pass, as we saw last season. Awesome at the plate. Contact hitter, especially with runners in scoring position. We saw that in the second half. 50-50, and you mentioned it, John. We get a chance to see him pitch. So he, without question, is the number 1 baseball player in the world, the number 1 athlete on the planet as well. But I like the list, too. A variety of guys, but Shohei Ohtani, number 1 for a good reason.
And 30 teams in Major League Baseball. The Dodgers have 8 of the top 71 players in the game, according to MLB Network. That's how much talent is on this roster. Dodgers won their 8th World Series championship. We also witnessed the first 50-50 season in baseball history. On this Valentine's Day, up next, Jerry and Bill will share the moments they loved in 2024.
それでは 一緒に盛り上がっていきましょう。大谷翔平がまたしても歴史を塗り替えた。彼が打ち立てた5050クラブは、これまで誰も到達したことのない領域であり、まさに MLB の新たな伝説の幕開けとなった。この快挙は単なる個人記録にとどまらず、彼が所属するドジャースにとっても、2025年シーズンへ向けた大きな弾みとなるに違いない。試合開始早々、大谷は豪快なツーベースヒットを放ち、さらに右前ヒットで出塁すると50個目の盗塁を決めた。その後も彼のバットは火を吹き、左中間への鋭い打球で今季3本目のヒットを記録。そしてついに、大谷はライトスタンドへ豪快な一撃を放ち、50本塁打の大台に乗せた。この瞬間、スタジアムはまるで爆発したかのような歓声に包まれ、実況陣も興奮を隠せなかった。これは歴史的な瞬間だ。野球の概念を覆す男、大谷翔平がまたしても新たな伝説を生み出した。この試合だけでなく、彼の2024年シーズン全体が信じられないほどのパフォーマンスに満ちていた。50本塁打、50盗塁という史上初の記録を樹立し、打撃でも走塁でもリーグを支配した。そして今、彼は新たなチャレンジに向けて歩みを進めている。大谷の挑戦は終わらない。彼は今春、投手として再びマウンドに立つ予定だ。2023年には2度目のトミー・ジョン手術を受け、その後のオフシーズンには肩の手術も経験した。通常であれば、ここまでの怪我を負った選手がトップフォームを取り戻すには数年かかると言われている。しかし、それは普通の選手の話だ。大谷翔平は、常識を超越した存在であり、彼の復活に疑問を抱く者はいない。50、50シーズンはもう無理だろう。いや、大谷ならまたやってのけるかもしれない。彼が投手として完全復活を果たした場合、プレースタイルにも変化が生じる可能性がある。2024年のように50盗塁を狙うのは難しくなるかもしれないが、その代わりに50本塁打、52塁打という新たな偉業を達成する可能性もある。大谷のパワーと打撃技術を考えれば、二塁打の増加は十分に現実的な目標と言える。ドジャース球団も彼の体調を最優先に考えながら最適な起用法を模索している。球団関係者もこれは未開の領域だと語り、大谷本人の意見を尊重しつつ慎重にプランを進めている。2025年の大谷翔平がどのようなプレースタイルを確立するのか、全野球ファンが注目している。そして今シーズンのドジャースは超豪華な戦力を揃えた。開幕戦では山本由伸が日本での初登板を果たす予定となっている。さらに日本球界の至宝佐々木朗までも MLB デビューに向けて準備を進めており、彼の才能がどこまで通用するのか大きな注目を集めている。 MLB ネットワークが発表した MLB トップ100プレイヤーではドジャースから8名がランクイン。その中でも大谷翔平は堂々の1位を獲得した。これは当然の結果とも言えるが、ドジャースの強さを改めて証明するものでもある。チームにはムーキー、ベッツ、5位、フレディ、フリーマン、8位といった実力者が揃い、他球団にとってはまさに最強軍団といえる存在になっている。この陣容で迎える2025年シーズン、ドジャースはワールドシリーズ連覇を目指している。最後に MLB で連覇を達成したのは1998、2000年のヤンキース。それから20年以上の時を経て、新たな王者として歴史に名を刻むチャンスが巡ってきた。2025年の大谷翔平はどんな偉業を達成するのか。山本由伸と佐々木朗までの日本人コンビは MLB で成功するのか。ドジャースは2025年もワールドシリーズを制覇できるのか。あなたの意見をぜひコメントで聞かせてほしい。そしてこの歴史的瞬間を一緒に楽しむためにチャンネル登録といいねを忘れずに。2025年シーズンの幕開けまであと少し。ドジャースと大谷翔平の新たな挑戦を見逃すな。